your honorable speakers and the participant of PCAP Brawijaya International Conference on Accounting and Finance. My presentation will be very short, I think, because I have to catch up the flight today. So I'm so sorry. I apologize for that. Can I share my PPT? Bu Aulia, ya? Share
Yeah,
screen.
sure.
So I pinpoint some of important technology information technology transformations as a growth enabler under uncertainty. So we know that the world has been changing so much. For example, that the economy and revenue growth is slowing down starting 2008. We agree that the surest on the important signs of thriving company is the robust and consistent revenue growth. But maybe for the last 15 years, it has been very difficult to find any companies who have consistent growth revenue. The biggest company actually started, the biggest company in the world actually experiencing only a half of growth rate compared to what they did before 2008. So we can see that the biggest company in the world is only experiencing at a half rate of the growth compared to before 2008 and after 2008. So the world has been experiencing a economic slowdown, and revenue growth is also slowed down. The other challenges to creating a value actually is not only about slowing global economy. There are two other challenges in creating a value that we have to face today. The second is rising inflations. The third is geopolitical uncertainty, and the fourth is climate change. We know that after Russia attacking Ukraine, everything, the price of every commodity has going up. So then we are now facing unprecedented situations now, because the inflation goes up so much, and then there are geopolitical uncertainty is also very unpredictable. So those four factors that factors that we have to face in creating a value after the pandemic and after the Ukraine war. So there are only two words I mentioned here that maybe represent the situation, current situation we face. Those are volatility and unpredictability. So here is the capital market US volatility index before and after the COVID-19 pandemic. So we can see here that the volatility index goes up and very volatile after the COVID-19 and after Ukraine war. Before the COVID-19, the index is little bit slow, I think, is below the average, But after the COVID-19, it goes up much more than the average before the COVID pandemic. So there are 10 potential risks to grow in the global economy now. So there are 10 factors that may hinder us to have a revenue growth. The first is geopolitical instability, inflation, volatile energy prices, supply chain disruption, rising interest rates, labor shortages, increased economic volatility. COVID-19 actually is still, this is from the McKinsey survey, is still perceived as the potential risk that maybe hinder us to grow. Yeah. The other is domestic political conflict and changes in trade policy. Those are the factor, the potential risk to have revenue growth in today business and economic current situations. So from the McKinsey also we can learn there are 6 dimensions of resilient growth. If I mentioned that the revenue growth is the most important enabler to creating value, right? So we have challenges to create a value or to create a resilient growth. but we have 6 dimensions that from the McKinsey survey, 6 dimensions of resilience growth. First is financial dimension, operational dimension, organization dimension, digital and technology dimension, business model innovation capabilities dimension, brand, reputation, and ESG, environment, social, and governance dimensions. Those are the 6 that maybe enable us to grow. I would like to emphasize one of them actually, which is digital and technology dimensions. But McKinsey also report very interesting about the pricing. This is financial dimensions, yeah. So 20% of the company who are survive in current situation is those who make the pricing management as a business model, and they are very agile to change this business model. So they call very aggressive pricing management. Every quarter, they assess their pricing. This is very surprising for me, because the pricing actually now, before the pandemic and before the Ukraine war, it's been very stable. But now they are very aggressive in determining prices because the inflations. So I would like to emphasize on digital and technology dimension here, because it's one of the most critical and most important factors that enable us to have resilient growth. So from the McKinsey also, we can see that technology investment are creating significant business value. More than two-thirds of the respondents, the respondent are 700 companies in the world. They mentioned that more than 70% of them mentioned that technology transformation has enabled them to make 4 factors, 4 situations, 4 improvement. First is they improve employee experiences. They experience also reduce costs. They also experience increased revenue from existing stream, and they also realize of new revenue streams. We see here that more than 79% the company who make technology transformation improve their employee experience. And 68% of the company who has implemented technology transformation actually increase revenue from existing streams. This is very important. So we can conclude that the technology transformation today enable firm to create value. So we can see also here from the McKinsey survey also, the strategy or what transformation actually they did to make 4 factors that happen. Yeah, we can see here that scaling data analytics is very crucial, enable to realize new revenue stream and to increase revenue from existing streams. So if the company want to realize new revenue stream or to increase revenue from existing stream, they do scaling data analytics. Okay. But one transformation actually is also very crucial, which is transforming talent strategy. Because this transformation, transforming talent strategy, make them to have 4 improvement. We can see here that transforming talent strategy has made them to realize new revenue stream, right? Transforming talent strategy make them to increase revenue from existing stream. Transforming talent strategy also make them to reduce costs, and transforming talent strategy make them improve employee experiences. Another data from the McKinsey also, what transformation of the company will do over 2 next years. They said, first is digitizing and user experiences. The second they still want to scaling data analytics. The third, they want to enhancing an IT architecture. And the last and the least is transforming vendor management. Very important also here that the remark we can see for the highlights here, transforming vendor management is only actually, this is one, transforming vendor management and sourcing strategy could reduce costs and improve employer experiences. But they cannot increase revenue from existing stream by transforming vendor management and sourcing strategy. So this one, all this survey teach us that for accountants, technology will not replace our job, but technology will support us in creating the value. I think this is good remark. I think the technology will support us in doing our business, not replacing us as accountant or as any business business players. So because I'm an accountant, I want to see how accountants actually face the technology transformations. Yes, it is that some of our job will be eliminated or replaced by the machine. For example, account payable and receivable processing. Now there is already artificial intelligence powered invoice management system available. They can make invoice processing much easier and more streamlined due to the digital workflow that the company implement. For supplier onboarding, for example, machine can actually replace us to vet new supplier by checking their credit score, right? And also actually reduce the human error to checking any data. This is that some of our job actually now already replaced by the machine. Some other are very vulnerable to be replaced by the machine. For example, transactional accounting process. Primary example are customer order processing, invoicing, credit, accounts receivable, payment collection, vendor purchase order processing, and account payable, payroll processing, and travel expense processing. All are very vulnerable to be replaced by the machines. This is our challenge for accountants actually, but what we have to do. Hanum mentioned 3 things that we have to do now. First, increasing skill with education and training. Yeah. I read her remark, very important remark here. As output of automation increases, accountant can convert their fear risk into opportunities. So we have to change our fear risk into opportunities. We can do this by acquiring new skill and capability, such as with planning, strategizing, and analysis, which contribute higher value to organization than simply reporting data. This can be accomplished via education and training. This is very important remark, I think. So in order to not be replaced by the machines, we have to increase our skill with education and training. In what? In augmented digital automation and new business model from digital disruptions. So our skill and knowledge actually in augmenting digital automation and new business model from digital disruption are very important in order to not be replaced by the machines. For example, here I mentioned some of the examples, yeah, how machine can support us, support the accounts, not replace the accountants. For example, data analytics. Yeah, accountant could use data analytics in many ways. For example, uncovering valuable insights within their financials, or improving the efficiency of processes within the entity by discovering the potentials. And the third is managing risk with preferable approach. Another example is actually how the internal and external auditors use information technology to transform their tasks. Auditors might alter their approach in a sample-based model into constant monitoring, where much larger data sets are analyzed and verified. And what the result actually? We get the result that less margin of error, resulting in more precise recommendations. So data analytics actually make us to provide more precise recommendations, also make us to have less margin of errors. This is actually some of the examples that we can do to use technology transformation in creating value, especially for the accountants. So this is my closing remarks because I have to go. This is the remark from Benjamin Disraeli. He said, he is the Prime Minister of England in 19th century. It could be 200 years ago. They said that the most successful man in life is the man who has the best information. And who those are have best information, it could be the accountants. So the accountants could be the most successful man in life.